Hello and welcome back. So let's go ahead and restrict making of payments if you're not logged in, or making orders. So to check how things are done here, there are restricted pages already that we have, and those are the admin pages. So let's see how that restriction is done by going to the controllers and admin. So in here you can see that we need to load this model user, and then we get user data here, and we say check login. Okay, so here we're checking for the admin section. So this same thing will redirect a user if they are not appropriately logged in. So let's copy this because this is exactly what we need. So copy. But I want to see what it has, this check login. You can always go and check what you put there because it's easy to forget how your function actually works. So let's just go to our models here and inspect it for a bit. So we're going to go to the user class, and let's try and find the check login function here. Let's see here. So check login, there we go. So redirect, do we want to redirect true or false? It defaults to false, and then allow, and then we have an array there of who can be allowed there. So is the allowed even a thing here? Okay, there we go. If count allowed and rank, so it looks for the rank that we are looking for. Okay, great. So if we go back to our users table here, let's see what ranks we have. So one of them is admin, the other one is customer. So the person has to be at least a customer or an admin to be able to do this. So no problem here, we know what we need. Now let's go and check which page we have to add this on. So if I go back to my shop here, let's try and do some shopping. I'm going to add to the cart and I'm going to go next. So I think this is entirely up to you where you want to add this, but I think this is the location right here. Before coming to this page, we must ask for a login. So I'm going to go to the checkout here, checkout controller, and where are we? Checkout.php. Where is this? And this is the index. So right here, after we get that, let's check if the user is logged in. So say make sure the user is logged in. Let's paste that. So this is repeated code, so we can remove that. All right, so user data is equal to check login. Oh, looky there, we actually already have this, so no problem here. And it's just that it was optional here. So let me move my comment there. And what I need to do now is remove this and move it inside there, because it's exactly the same code. So remove. But then instead of just admin, I'm going to put a comma and put customer as well, like that. So both of these are acceptable in here. So hopefully that will accept. Anything else than that is going to be rejected. So if I come here, there's a summary as well. So we might as well check for that here as well. So I'm going to get this same user. Oops, sorry about that. Let me copy this. Let's come down here to this as well. When you're looking at the summary, you must be logged in as well, because people are clever. They just type in a specific URL just to trick the system. So we must prevent that by doing a check there as well. And let's go to another function. Even when making payments, you must be logged in. But let's see here. We don't need that here, but we need it here. So let's do that check as well before you pay. We don't want those who are not logged in to be able to pay. So let's get that user class, copy that code and put it here like so. Alrighty then. So this is looking good. Let's give it a test run, shall we? So I'm going to go back here and click back. Now, if I click next, you see that no difference here whatsoever because I am logged in after all. Okay, back. So, oh, wait a second. What if I type something here? Ah, right. All right. Okay, so those are still working. And if I now go to log out, so let me just log out here. Let me add to my cart. Let me go next. And now it takes me to the login page like that. It doesn't take me to the other side. Okay, very good. Now the thing is, here, if I log in, I'm going to be taken to, let's see here. I'm not going to be taken to the checkout, but instead I will go to the, just here. So if you want to be able to redirect somebody to the intended place, it would be a good idea to record where they are when you redirect them. So if we go back to our model user class here, and let's see the, where is this? The check login right here. So if we're redirecting them to the login page, it means something is wrong. So right here we can save something. So we can just say user session, right? We can say session, let's call it intended like that. So let's say intended underscore URL is equal to, and so at this point we want to get the current URL, whatever the URL is at that time. Let's grab it. The only problem is that getting the URL is quite tough. So let's see what options we have. So I'm just going to say URL is equal to empty string for now, like this. And then here, instead of the header, I'm just going to tell it to die so that we can see what's going on. And then I would do show server because I want us to recreate the URL that we want to get here. So just there, I will stop at that and let me log out. Then let me try to go to my cart again, add an item, and let me try to go to the next page. So instead I get this right here. So it's saying an undefined array key user, that's 202. Let's see there. What's going on? 202. Okay, that's because I'm definitely not logged in here. This is why I get that. But we don't need such errors. We can easily fix this by putting a question mark here and just saying is set like that, and comma, and then bracket, sorry, question mark, and then if it is set, I will put it as the value, and if it isn't, full colon, I'll put an empty string like that. Okay, so let's see if that works out still. Okay, good. The error is gone. Now we need to create our URL. So let's look at the URL the way it is right now. Now, which of these variables can we get to recreate what we see in there? So that is the point. So usually what I'm looking for is down here. Let me zoom in a little bit so we can take a closer look. All right. So the first thing we need is the server name, of course, because we have localhost over there. So let's use that server name, or you can use, it's called server host or host HTTP, or is that HTTP host? So you can use that as well. Okay, or you can say server name. Either of the two will do just fine. So here what I'll do is I'll say URL is equal to server. So I'm going to copy that server there, put it here, and say server name. Yes, server underscore name, like that. Now, on some systems, some of you may be using a port number, right? So you can add the port there as well, server port. So this is port 80. Now, if I go to my URL here and put a full colon and put port 80 like that and press enter, it automatically removes it. It just hides it. So port 80 is always there. So let's add the server port as well. So I'm just going to come here and put a full colon there like that, concatenate full colon and concatenate server port as well. So I'll put that here, boom, and then server here as well, copy and paste like that. Okay, so we have our server name, our port, and then what do we have now? We need a slash like this. So let's use our inverted commas, slash like that. So normally that would be it if this was your now if this is your, what do you call this, your online server, you may just want to type www dot whatever it is to represent this whole thing that I've done here. So www.website.com, that should be what you put here, and the slash there, because that is your home directory kind of. So you don't need all this public checkout, whatever that is here, you don't need it. So let's figure out what we need here. So we have that public there, we have eShop, we have public. Okay, so let's add that as well, eShop public. So we are adding these ones manually because they're always there. Regardless what URL we are on, these are always there here. So still, all this, if you're on your online server, all this will be replaced by your address to your server. You add this instead, you put inverted comma and you say www dot, in fact you're supposed to start with http full colon / and then www, or you don't need the www, you can just say mywebsite.com like that. That should be enough, and you put your slash there like so. So all this here will be replaced by that when you're on your live server. Okay, good. So for now, let's do the localhost version. So after that, now we just want to see how to get the ending part here. So let's go to you see here there's no, not that one, there's this one, no, not the redirect URL. Let's see something more permanent like PHP self, this one right here, or request URI, but I normally use this one, PHP self. Now if you notice, PHP self does have this eShop public, or it has index.php, right? Okay, this is reliable because it will always be here because we are always accessing the index page. So this is good. So instead, what I will do is concatenate that at the end here. So I'll do that. So if you find that you have issues while you are on your actual live server, so just do exactly what I'm doing here. Just show the server information and then try to see what you can get from there to recreate your URL until you have something that you are satisfied with. So back here, and let me put my string there. So PHP self, and on this one I want to do a string replace because I want to replace the index.php. So index.php will be replaced by, oops, sorry there, by an empty string like that, and the subject is this very subject there, like so. So back here and up to there. All right, good. So let's see what we have so far. So I'm saying show server here, but before that I want to show the URL that I've created. So URL here, let's see what it has. So let me not, yeah, anyway, I can leave that there, refresh the page. Let's go to the top. So this is what I have now, localhost 80 eShop public, very nice, but I don't have that page checkout at the very end there. So where do I find that? So that can be found, actually this one looks like it's doing much better, isn't it? Because it has checkout at the very end there. Okay, so, oh yeah, actually this is better. This one has the query string. So query string is equal to that. Good. And actually inside the get, we always have that URL. So if I were to check the get variable right now, let's do that, get, like so, and refresh, it will give me checkout. But let's use, for universality here, let's use instead this same one, query string instead. So I'm going to copy query string and put it at the very end here. So concatenate to the end. Let's add server again. And then let's add query string. Query underscore string. And yes, that should do. Let's see what we have. Okay, unfortunately we have that there, so let's do a string replace as well. So copy that, do a string replace, just like on the other one, string underscore replace. So it looks like too much work just to come up with a URL, right? So string replace, but this is how PHP is like. There's no going around this, unfortunately. So we just have to do it. Now the problem is if you change your, okay, let's see if it's good though before we start looking for problems. Okay, so this kind of looks like that now, except for the port number, but it's exactly the same. Okay, so we are good. So the problem is once you change your server, you have to come back and change this. Now the problem is you can create this in many places and it will become a nightmare to try and recreate this. So instead, let's cut this whole thing out. Cut, save, and instead let's go to our config file inside the core config. Right here we can just create one of these, define, and just say foo URL. Foo URL, like this. And then inside here, that's where we add URL, like so. So we're going to create that URL variable right here. Actually, I just need to paste, like so. Okay, so URL is equal to that, and then full URL is equal to that. So once we define full URL here, copy. I can come back to right here on the checkout, no, the user class, and then try to show what's inside full URL like this. And let me remove the server thingy like that. So if I now refresh, undefined variable URL, no problem, my man, no problem. I gotcha. I'm going to put this here instead, the full URL. Oops. Okay, and now here we go. So we have that, very nice. So now I can easily assign that to that. So intended becomes the full URL that we have now, and I close it. So the world is a better place again. So now what happens is when you change your server, you can come back here and edit this part until you get what you want. So like I told you, this whole part here up to PHP self is not needed when you are on the live server. Here you're going to replace it with your www. whatever the website is. The only part that you're going to leave out is this part here, the query string only. So it's going to change to this. For example, mywebsite.com is going to be like this instead. It's going to be mywebsite.com, and then we'll put our slash there like so. Okay, and it's better to add your http ://. So it's going to be like this instead when you're on a live server. Okay, but when you're in a localhost, it's like this. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. So I will save this and let's give it a try. Now in the once we log in, okay, full URL here, I'm going to copy that. Oh, not full URL. Let me go here. We're going to check if this intended exists and then we'll use it. So copy that. Now let's go to where we log in. So that's the user class. Where are we logging in from? I'm not even sure anymore. So here is login, right? So at this point, we redirect to the home page, right? If everything goes well. But instead, what we will do is we're going to check and say if is set. So say if is set session intended, like this, okay? If that is set, we're going to do something else. Else, we'll do the normal thing. Oh, I added too many of these here. So if it is set, we're going to redirect somewhere else. So copy this, intended, and because it's a full URL, we're just going to use the whole thing. So location, and then right here, we're going to add it there, like so, without the home at the end. Okay, so location intended. So this way, if it's set, we use it. If it isn't, we don't. And immediately we use it, we must delete it. So instead, let's assign it to a URL, another value, say is equal to, let's put that there. Okay, so we push it into here so that we can remove it. And I'm going to say unset that very thing, like so. That way it no longer exists by the time we redirect. And then when we are redirecting here, because this will throw an error, let's put our URL there instead, like that. So we assign it to this, then we unset it, and we redirect. That way it won't be set the next time. Okay, pretty good. Let me refresh. Oops, where is this? Line 113, we have an issue. Where is that? 113. Oops, what is it saying? Unclosed bracket. Okay, so that one there. Okay, my bad. Let me check one more time. Okay, I think we are good there. Very nice. Now let's give it a shot, shall we? So let me go home. Let me go to add to cart. Let me go to the checkout, and then it redirects me here. So I don't want it to take me to the home page, but to the page I intended. So let's see if that will happen. Login. No, it did not happen. Why didn't it happen? Let's find out. So 1 second here, and I'm going to come to here. Let's go to check out. Yeah. I'm looking for check login here. There we go. So it seems check login did not work. Here it's supposed to redirect me. And if, oh, wait a second. There are two places for redirect. So that's my bad. So let me copy this here and put it here as well. So just to cover those two bases. Okay, so let's try again. Failure is not an option. So let's log out, go back to the cart, click next. Let's try one more time. Fingers crossed. Login. No, it didn't work again. Okay, let's do a bit of troubleshooting in the next video.